So good morning everyone, so we're back at the BMW. We got the go ahead to replace this turbo with one provision. As once a turbo goes, you can give absolutely no guarantee that it's going to be good. So we got the go ahead under that reason. So it's just a matter of stripping this down. It's not too bad actually to access this turbo. There's a plate there and there's 4 screws and then the oil feed and return line. But first of all we had to remove a Jubilee clip just right there. So that then removes the air filter housing. There's that Jubilee clip there. So that just all comes off as a winner. So once we get into this turbo here, I'll show you the procedure from that. But so let's go. So in order to remove this cover, there's 2 bolts there. There's one in at the back here, and there's another one holding the oil feed pipe in. So we're then taking the feed bolt off. It's like a banjo fitting, and I'll tell you that is very tight to remove. So we're just working the bolt back and forward to remove that. Here's the 2 bolts there that we've removed from that shield. So as I said, one there and one round the corner at the back there. So tight. It's coming new right enough, eh? Aye, horrible, eh? How's it looking? So that's the banjo bolt out. Good practice is always to replace these pipes. So we'll price them for BMW, but it looks like it's got a transducer on top of it or something like that. We'll have a look at that, see if we can maybe blow through the pipe. So there you go, that bolt was starting to strip. So it must just be the heat within that turbo. And I think, is there meant to be a filter in there, Roddy, we read? Something like that. So we're going to replace that bolt for a genuine BMW part. So there it's there, 17mm head. We've just moved back that plate ever so slightly, and it gives us access to the 3 bolts that hold the turbo on. So that's one there, and one just up there. So they're 10mm, what do you call these, multi-hex. So we'll get that removed. Then it'll be these couple of fittings down there that hold that on. And then there's that banjo bolt down at the back there. It goes onto the DPF for the exhaust. So let you see that. Oh, tight. At least everything's worked into the turbo though, innit? Oh, sorry. What about heat of that now?
Aye.
Oh.
That's going to snap. That's going to snap, mate.
Is it?
It's too easy. It's rounded.
Oh.
Something right there.
That's right. So we thought that first bolt was snapped, but it's not. It's coming out by turning by the fingers. So there you go. Must be made of good stuff, Roddy.
That was tight.
There we go. So 1 done, 2 to go. So I wished I'd caught that. That was one almighty crack for removing that bolt number 2, but they're good. So here we go for number 3. He's just that's it, and back there. That's like removing a cylinder head bolt, isn't it?
Aye.
That is a beauty. But to be fair, once they've cracked, no bother at all, they run out lovely. go. Clean. So we've removed a couple of hoses that go into the side of the turbo there. There's the first one. So the clip just gets pulled down the way, but that's been a bit brittle because the hose, it goes for the top there, and this hose up there, it just broke. So we need to replace that. That was brittle. It must be the heat. So that's the first one. And the second one's that silver hose you see down there. Right, Rod, I'll just point at that one there. So you have to get 2 screwdrivers in there and ease it up both sides, then retract it. So that was a 2-man job to get that thing off it. And when you put them back together, they just push back in. So we're getting there. So we're trying to remove that banjo bolt for the exhaust. Quite tight that. So I think that's a 13. That better. That's it. So we managed to open up that clamp. It joins the exhaust, the DPF, to the turbo. So that's a matter of just taking that long bolt out. There's the length of the bolt there. 13mm was that, Roddy? I think that was 13mm. And then we used a set of circlip pliers, and that just opened it up enough. They're quite strong, heavy duty circlip pliers. We just opened that thing up, and once it was opened up, we just managed to chop away with it with our old trusty pinch bar, and it came up no bother. So that's right, it's on nicks, that's right. We'll show you when it comes off. So we reckon there's maybe a couple of bolts underneath this turbo, so we're going to get our boroscope out and have a little look around, because we shouldn't be far away from being free now. So once it's off and on the bench, we can see where it mounts better anyway. Cheers. Friends, we have success. The turbo is out. So the worst bit about this job actually was it's the oil return pipe. It goes into the bottom. I'll show you once it's off. That's a little short pipe, and there's 2 Jubilee clips. I think I've got a picture there I'll put in the edit, and that was holding the whole thing on. So once we got that, I'll show you off the car, but once we got the bottom bolt out, voila, here it came. So we're just going to take this oil feed pipe off. Now, just for your reference, this pipe here at the top where the oil is, that goes into the manifold. That's actually a sensor, it's a pressure sensor, so we didn't actually have to remove that, but I think you do have to remove it to get access to the bolts, so that's why that one has to come off, but we're going to renew that, so I'll show you it once it's off. So there is the turbo out the car, and you can see the amount of movement in that. Oh dear. That's not acceptable. So it's gubbed, so you can see, hard to see, the thing's kaput. Anyway, so the other bits of the job, Road, I don't know if we could use that. So when we're there's that short pipe I was telling you about. So that's 6mm Jubilee clips. You got to loosen that. So this is the thing that actually holds it on, the worst bit at the end. So you got to get that off. And that bolt underneath, Roddy, where did that go again? Well, that's it. So there's one 13mm? 13mm bolt goes into that.
Comes off easy.
That's right, it was easy, and there's a bracket there. It goes on to the engine block, so you have to get that one out. But I think everything else was straightforward. You don't have to remove the actuator or anything like this. So, well, it looks good on that side.
2 sides there. That's how we look at.
Oh, I look at the movement. We'll have to check is we're going to put our boroscope down the DPF, but it looks guy oily at the moment. And there's that bracket I was telling you about that the turbo sits onto the bottom. So that's it. That bit Roddy's hitting there, so that's the only bracket you have to take off.
There's the pipe.
That's it. One of my subscribers, I think was it Tam in Edinburgh, had recommended using the turbo guys in Glasgow, so that's where we're going to go. And there's 2 different turbos on this car, and let's hope we have the cheaper one. because they said the one with black was cheaper than the one with silver, so I would think that counts as black. So we're hoping for that. So we're going to use our, is it eBay boroscope?
Aye, easy it. For you.
Fantastic. So we're going to use that and have a look down the DPF, and I'll just keep you pinned to this camera here. Oh wait, that looks, well, there's the substrate, whatever they call it, the monolith. It's oily, but we can still see it. That's difficult to tell. If it's absolutely... Well, that's a bit better picture already. Come back a wee bit, man. Aye, that is... I think you can see there that the DPF is clogged. That needs washed. I think it'll need to be... Oh, aye. Winds flush or whatever it is. I'll go for that. Cheers. So there we go. We've removed the DPF from the car. And now we'll need to remove these sensors. And we're going to try this stuff here. Winds off-car DPF cleaner. So the idea of this stuff is you soak the DPF in it, and you leave it for 8 hours, and then you flush it with warm water to see if that does the business. But you can see this guy choked. We're going to try and clean that out, if no, replace the turbo. But there's the bracket. Have to remove that one, and then there's other fittings here. You do this from under the car. There's other bracket there as well. That's right. So there's the oxygen sensor out. So that's a telltale sign. If that's like that, imagine what's inside that DPF. Wonderful. That's why it has to come off. Cheers. So we removed the probe from the middle of the filter, and it's just sooty. So we're pretty confident that it's only got oil from the first part, which is actually DPF, right to that bit there. So we reckon it's just the first bit is blocked. So I think so, eh?
Aye.
So that's where that probe comes out of there. So it's like half, well, what, a third of the way down the DPF. This one's guide tight right enough. This is the old trick we try. Put the cold water on it, shock it. Oh no, horrible. Leave it. We'll just cover it over and put the treatment in.
Okay.
Right, my man. So there you go. We just left it to cool down after heating it up, and it came out. I'm going to say no problem at all, but it did come out. Just a wee temperature probe anyway.
That's what it is, aye. Aye, clean up.
Oh well, good. So there's the... When we remove the pipework, this snapped, and it goes from this bit here, the air intake, and then it goes up to the I think it's a breather pipe, goes up to the rocker cover. I'll show you in the car where it goes. So there it goes into there. Oh dear, torch went off and everything. So it just goes into there, that pipe, and comes down to the front there. So we'll need to order that as well as a couple of O-rings. Oh, I just snapped me.
Aye.
Oh, heat
Heat.
and oil.
Aye.
Bad combination.
Aye.
There we go.